Grand Mastery is the hardest and most tedious challenge in the game. On paper, it's simple and straightforward until you realize there's more than meets the eye. Not only do you have to unlock the Orion camo, which is a grind in itself. I've already covered the Orion camo in depth, so we're going to pick up as if the Orion grind is already completed. After that, you need to get 1000 kills with each weapon in the game. The only requirement is that you use the weapon mastery camos, and to be specific, you'll need 100 kills with gold, 200 kills with platinum, 300 kills with polyatomic, and 400 with Orion. By doing this with each weapon, along the way for each camo you complete, you'll unlock a respective emblem and calling card, and once all 4 camos have been completed for a weapon, you'll unlock that respective weapon's charm. See, that doesn't seem too hard, but here's the catch. You must complete Orion and the Weapon Mastery Challenge on the base 51 weapons in the game, those including launchers. Within the completionist for each weapon, there is a charm labeled 1 through 51, and all of them must be unlocked before you get the final Grandmaster reward. Unfortunately, like the Orion camo, there is no workaround where you can unlock it as long as 51 guns are polyatomic, including the DLC weapons. 51,000 kills is a huge ask on top of already getting the Orion camo, but there are some things you can do to be more efficient, like while doing camo challenges. You can make early progress on the gold and platinum sections while working towards polyatomic camo on each weapon before you even unlock the Orion camo. You should also be grinding on shipment, as it is the highest amount of kills possible you'll get each match. Unfortunately, shipment isn't always in the game, so the second best option is Shoot House. In the off chance that neither of those maps are even available, I recommend Hardpoint, as it provides the fastest spawns closest to an objective that everyone's always going to all the time. It has lots of action, lots of kills, fast progression. That's all that's important with this grind. Of course, when the Orion camo is actually unlocked. Let's dig into the worst part about the Grandmaster Challenge. 1000 kills with the knife, shield, and launchers on top of every other weapon you have to do. There is no way to make it sound like it's going to be any fun. You're going to be spending so many hours on shipment, it's going to feel like your new home. And trust me when I say this, you're going to die a lot and it's going to be so frustrating, but you are still going to get the most kills for each map that you play. So unfortunately, you're going to have to learn to love shipment, and most people do by now, especially when it comes to camo grinding. Using the knife, well, it's literally bringing a knife to a gunfight. You need a shield on your back at all times to give you at least a little bit of protection, not to get fried every time an enemy looks at you. Smoke grenades are a must, as they'll make it easier to navigate through the map, with double time and tracker to find enemies in the chaos that the smoke grenades cause. Not like shipment wasn't already chaotic enough. You can use other tacticals too, but smoke grenades tend to work the best. Make sure you can't be seen by enemy thermals once they get so frustrated by not seeing through the smoke. The easy fix to that? Cold-blooded, and run quick fix to regen your health after killing as many enemies as possible if you're lucky enough to survive. With the knife, you don't have a lot of range or any advantage head-to-head against any gun in the game. But at least you have a lot of mobility, so you are able to outmaneuver and manipulate enemies, making those 1000 kills just a little bit easier. In contrast, the shield has a low mobility, but at least you have all the protection in the world from bullets as long as your feet and back aren't getting shot. It should be self-explanatory, but your shield and knife class should be the exact same. Eventually, enemies will also get tired of your shenanigans and start throwing Semtex, Molotovs, Thermites, and drill charges at you. It sucks because if you get stuck, there's not a lot you can do unless you just die. So what I try to do is at least throw down a trophy system to counter it. Some enemies see shields running at them and they decide to run away, like they just turned on the basement lights and they have to make it upstairs before a demon gets them. Unfortunately, for the shipment chickens, throwing knives do the trick, but it makes no progress towards your actual kills. Universally, for the launchers, you need fast hands to reload as fast as possible because you don't want to take the entire day to reload. Oh my god, it takes forever to reload this thing. Oh my god, game, please help me. Ammo crates to replenish rockets, since scavenger doesn't work, and extra tacticals with throwables, because when anyone dies to launchers over and over again, here come the trophy systems, and they will be there in abundance, and it sucks dealing with it, and that's lame. Throw all your stuff around the map all the time just to see if there is any trophy systems before you shoot your launchers, and yeah, you just got to deal with it. Oh, and Flak Jacket, or whatever it's called in Modern Warfare 2, enemies are going to start running that when they start dying to launchers over and over again. There's nothing really you can do other than get direct impacts with your rockets, or kill them while they're already weak, so good luck. Sometimes you'll run out of rockets, but you can still get kills that count towards each launcher. By meleeing your enemy, the kills still count as long as it's not a throwing knife, so just don't have that equipped. Because there's nothing worse than getting a bunch of knife kills and then realizing nothing counted. And I'm so happy I never have to use the Joker ever again. Until Modern Warfare 3 comes out next year, or I guess in the fall, but whatever. We all know how annoying it is getting kills with this. Lock on, fire, hope you kill someone, repeat. Get killed 40 times because locking on takes just as long as you trying to convince your parents to sign a permission slip. You keep going until you get frustrated, punch holes in your desks, and your brain's eventually melted, but eventually you'll get those 1,000 kills. Other than that, running around like a chicken with your head cut off hoping to get melee kills is about the only thing that you can do. And also, objective modes on Shipment like Grind, Hardpoint. It groups enemies into objectives where they like to sweat and always hang out and get free kills, so throw smokes at them, or even at your feet. Use the thermal sight, which a lot of people don't know the Joker has, and then you can just shoot through the smoke while locking on and no one will know you're there. The other 3 launchers are kilometers easier to complete. Even though they're way easier because they don't have to lock on, the Pila is the worst of the bunch due to its slow ADS and fire time. The damage is great as long as you direct impact or land close to your enemy. The Strela functions pretty much the same way, but the trade-offs being lower damage and higher mobility. I treated both of these launchers like they were explosive one-shot snipers, and that's how I got most of my kills. The RPG is the easiest of the bunch. You just point, shoot, dead. It's so strong with such a high mobility and a decently relative reload time that after using the Joka, Pila, and Strela, this thing's gonna feel like you just won the lottery. It's that easy to use. And just like with the melee and launchers, I worked in order from the hardest to easiest with every other weapon category in the game. There's nothing worse than having everything completed except the launchers or something you don't like using. The same goes for the bullet weapons in each category. There's no secret or amazing method to breeze through these. You just have to aim and shoot and get as many kills as possible. In order, I started with the snipers. One-shot kills, but slow ADS times. We all know how snipers work. When you are using these, use iron sights, red dots, or low magnifications, especially on Shipment. There's nothing worse than having a massive scope slow down your ADS time when you can just run around and get easier kills. It's not rocket science, and as I said, everything does eventually get easier. Marksman rifles are a little bit easier to use than snipers with a pretty similar function, and then followed by the battle rifles. Once all the bolt action and semi-autos are out of the way, you can pretty much go any direction you want. It won't be too difficult. I mean, Shipment does make everything easy for everyone. So for the rest, I grinded through shotguns, pistols, LMGs, SMGs, and assault rifles to top it off. And one thing I should mention if it's not apparent enough, SMGs and ARs are massive weapon categories with 8 weapons each, so I tended to work on the harder weapons first, like the M16. And one more trick is if a gun has an underbarrel attachment, like the Master Key or grenade launcher, these attachments kills will still count towards your overall progression. So if you're using the M16 on Shipment and you just don't like the gun, or you're just not good with it, Master Key and Noob Tube everyone. That's it. That's the grind. See? It's really simple on paper and a lot of work goes into it. So what's the reward for doing all of it? With Season 2, 3, and 4, we have seen some really cool camos that have been added into the game for just seasonal events. And some of them are animated and look really good, and some people even think that these camos are better than Polyatomic and Orion. For Grandmaster, no camo whatsoever. And there originally wasn't a lot that you unlocked in the first place. This charm was the only reward for the longest time. It says Grandmaster on it, but the text is too small to really even see in game. And when you pick up a weapon, the last thing you'll do is focus on the charm. The first thing, you'll always notice the camo. I was hoping we were going to see something similar to Obsidian from Modern Warfare, where there would at least be something more than just an emblem to show off on our gun that, hey, not only did I unlock the Orion camo, but I did the Weapon Mastery Challenge on all 51 base weapons and only have this to show for it. Bringing back the Exclusion Zone from COD 4 Remastered would have been amazing, a great way to show off that you did that grind. Recently, they did end up adding a matching emblem and calling card, so at least there is something more than just a simple weapon charm. And while they aren't the biggest and brightest rewards, it's still at least something. Maybe they will add even more in the future, but only one can hope. And that's just the base game weapons. Everything else that comes from a seasonal DLC doesn't have anything new or specific to it. It has the same 4 calling cards for the mastery camos, and when all 4 of those are done, a weapon specific charm. The only difference is each weapon has the season and number of weapon from that season it was on the charm. There's no extra calling card or emblem for completing the seasonal DLC weapons. Not that I would expect there to be one, but if there was that extra Ultra Mastery camo, then maybe you could unlock that Ultra Mastery camo on these new DLC guns to show that not only did you do the original Grandmaster Challenge, you did it for that DLC weapon as well. And you can kind of tell how most people that have done this grind are all on the same page where it's frustrating. So we come to the topic in question of, is this grind worth it? The answer? No. There is no reward that makes this grind worth it. Sure, I get to show off that I have this emblem and calling card, and am one of the few hundred people in the entire game to actually finish this challenge. But unless you're super in tune with Call of Duty or camo grinding, no one would still ever know what the emblem, calling card, and charm are for. It should be self-explanatory because there's weapons all over the place, but there's going to be people that look at it, read the Grandmaster, and think, hey, he is a Grandmaster of a seasonal challenge, and that's it. So, the time and effort that you have to put into this grind to complete it, not worth it whatsoever. The only upside is you get to brag about what you completed, even though you're pretty much completing this entire challenge for nothing. It would be great if they added a mastery camo or a secondary ultra mastery camo, but as I said earlier, we can only sit, hope, and wait. Luckily, after this challenge, there's still so much that you can do in the game, whether that's DMZ, Warzone, Ranked, or you can just go on a vacation for 2 months, sit on the beaches of Mexico, and just relax and enjoy your time. Anyway, that's Grandmastery. Bye.